we now increase these loan facilities that we are giving out to the industrialists, and even in the entertainment industry, it will double or triple the number of young people that will be absorbed. If you listen to our own programs in the oil sector, the expansion of the downstream activities, the robust plan we have, in the next 3-4 years, about 1 million Nigerians will get jobs through that. The Nigerian content law that I signed, and now office has been established, they have not taken off very effectively. In the next 2 to 3 years, through the Nigerian content alone, about 300 jobs will be provided for Nigerians in the maritime sector and oil-related sector. Our intervention in the agric.
I'm sorry, your time is up there. And as we gradually begin to wind down this debate, there is a question that we must ask. Otherwise, this constituency, the constituency so affected, we begin to wonder whether they are still part of Nigeria. And I'm talking of the women folk. What is your agenda for women?
I think this is the most women-friendly government. This government is the most women-friendly government. Even in terms of ministerial position, you compare the number of women we have in the cabinet and also the portfolios they are handling. Compared to even at the state level and the previous administration, you see that we have more women. I believe we have more women than any other one. And we are even giving them quite challenging job. I think this is the first time that a lady has been appointed as the chief economic advisor to Mr. President. All the chief economic advisors before have been men. Probably has been a woman, I'm not sure of. We'll find out. Maybe you will know because you're a journalist. The petroleum ministry, this is the first time a woman is handling, and on and on. And I promise that God's willing, from 29th of May, we'll make sure that in the cabinet, they will have 35%. And only today, I told the secretary to government that if we are forming any committee, we will form ad hoc committees from time to time to handle responsibilities for governments. Even today, I inaugurated two, so that at least 35% of membership should be women. I have already directed that even in the armed forces, I directed the chief of defense staff and the chief of air staff that we must train women fighter pilots. Some of the best fighter pilots in Israel are women. That means that they will go through NDA and become combatants and specialize in the Air Force. We may not send them to Navy or the Army for now, but we'll train them to be very good. Maybe one day a lady will be flying the president jet or the vice president jet in this country. Because if they are trained and they are good, they can occupy any position. So when I promise that we'll give women challenging jobs, we are already doing it. It's not just a political promise that maybe after election I will forget it. No, we're already doing it. I will continue to encourage the women. We'll give them more challenging jobs. We'll make sure they play a role. The only area which we don't have control, and probably that's the area that the women are a bit agitated, are the elective offices. Because for now, you have to pass through primaries, compete with others, and whoever wins takes the day. Sometimes we persuade some of our fellow men to step down for the women, but they are quite reluctant, and I have no control over that. But in terms of appointive offices, either ad hoc appointments for the committees we set up, or ministerial, or heads of parastatals, and so on and so forth. We're encouraging the women. I will continue to encourage the women.
Thank you very much. You must understand that we cannot ask questions on all the areas of national life in a one debate such as this. So we are winding down now, and we'll be asking Dr. Goodluck Jonathan to make his closing statement.
Thank you again for this debate. I believe that Nigerians by today will know that Mr. President is not running away or shying away from explaining to them what we have been doing, from giving account of his stewardship. One thing we believe is that we run an open government, and I will use this opportunity to tell Nigerians that God's willing, when they vote for my party and vote for me, we'll run a government that will see to how collectively we will be able to transform this country. The issues of Nigeria being potentially great should be history. As a nation, we are in the threshold of history. The world is changing. We have just celebrated our 50 years of anniversary. We are looking up to when we'll celebrate 100 years of our independence. Most of us who are here, I don't think will participate in that celebration. But we want a situation where our children that will celebrate the 50 years should celebrate with satisfaction, not with despair. We want our children to be respected globally. And for that, we want Nigeria to be a country that will have local and international respect and regard. We want a country that the economy will be stable and accommodate our people. We want a nation that power should be taken for granted, just like other countries. We want a country where people should not wake up and begin to think how they will get their breakfast. We want a country where children should go to school, where the issue of education should not be a matter of political debate. A nation where the issue of their health services should not be a matter of political debate. A nation that should be more interested, probably, in foreign relations, how we relate with broader countries. But the basic needs of life should be made available. We are going to start that foundation, a solid foundation that if we are lucky to build in the next 4 years, it will be stable enough for subsequent administration to move on. Our past leaders have done very well, but we have modern challenges and some new realities that we must confront now. And we stand for that transformation. We will work with all nations because it's a country that is blessed with brains. Most of them are in, quite some of them are in the diaspora, in engineering, in the health sector, in finance, in law, in other areas, in medicine. We are going to work with them to make sure that we provide the basic needs. And Nigeria should be known as a country that the people have hope. First and foremost, even though I'm contesting the election, will ensure that the vote of Nigerians counts and that nobody will rig elections. Nobody will intimidate others. Yes, we have noted issues of violence even in the campaigns, but that has opened the eyes of the security agencies, and they are working around the clock, and they will ensure that the elections are not disrupted. But one thing again that people must note is that crime is crime, irrespective of politics. If you commit a crime, criminal offenses don't, well, the lawyers say status bar. If you commit a crime, even for 10 years, it will pursue you. So if there are some senior citizens that are encouraging people to do things that are antisocial, they should know that there will be no space for sacred cows. If you're involved in a criminal action, you will go in for it, and nobody will spare you. I will not interfere with the processes of the law. The law will take its course and make sure that we come up with a society where all of us will be free, where every Nigerian child will have the opportunity to climb to the pinnacle of his own career. I told some group of youths that the difference between an ordinary person and the extraordinary person is extra effort that one person put in. I am an ordinary Nigerian, and if today I can stand before Nigerians as the president of this country, then all other Nigerian children have the opportunity and will have the opportunity to get to the pinnacle of their career. The only thing they have to do is to work hard, and God's willing, they will smile. And collectively, all of us will push this country from an ordinary country to an extraordinary country that will play big globally. I thank you all.
Please. The session is not over. You are violating the rules. You are violating the rules. The session is not over. Please, 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 please. Thank you very much, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, candidate of the PDP for the April 9 presidential election in Nigeria. And for us, that's the debate for the second and final session of the presidential debate, March 30th, 2011. The presidential debates, of course, will return in 2015 when Nigeria is scheduled to hold the next presidential election. But before we wind down completely, it's my pleasure to invite the chairman of the Board of Trustees of the NEDG and chairman of the NEDG himself. Both of them are up on the stage, Malam Abubakar Jijiwa and Aremo Taiwo Alimi, to present a certificate of participation to candidate Dr. Goodluck Jonathan. All right, thank you so much. Let's quickly remind you that the 2011 presidential debate has been brought to you by the Nigerian Elections Debates Group, NEDG, with support from the Independent National Electoral Commission, the National Orientation Agency, National Broadcasting Commission, the Broadcasting Organizations of Nigeria, Nigerian Union of Journalists, Nigerian Guild of Editors, Newspaper Proprietors Association of Nigeria, Nigerian in Diaspora Organization, National Democratic Institute, USA, and the Democratic Governance for Development Project managed by the UNDP. Born member stations are our official broadcasters, Africa Independent Television and the Nigerian Television Authority are the official production stations for global distribution of the 2011 presidential debate signals. Africa's largest radio network, Radio Nigeria, and Voice of Nigeria have been our official radio production stations for the global transmission of the presidential debates. To our viewers across the globe, many thanks for watching, and to our radio audience, thanks immensely for listening. Bye for now, and see you in 2015.